April 19th, 1995, Oklahoma City. It is a Wednesday morning, right around 9 o'clock. People are pouring coffee, settling into their desks at the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, or dropping their kids off at the second-floor daycare. At exactly 9:02 a.m., a bomb detonates at the north entrance. The blast reduces a third of the 9-story building to rubble, flattening floors like pancakes and incinerating dozens of vehicles in an instant. The collapse is catastrophic. 168 people are killed, and more than 500 are injured. Because the blast crater swallows the second floor entirely, 19 of those victims are children. The scale of the destruction in the heart of the American Midwest led investigators and the media to a single conclusion. This was the work of a sophisticated Middle Eastern terrorist network. While first responders frantically search the concrete debris in downtown Oklahoma City, a quiet, completely routine traffic stop is taking place on a highway 80 miles away. Just 77 minutes after the explosion, an Oklahoma state trooper pulls over a car simply because it doesn't have a license plate. The man in the driver's seat is a 27-year-old American named Timothy McVeigh, a clean-cut, decorated United States Army veteran. Timothy McVeigh, an American soldier, had carried out the deadliest act of terrorism on U.S. soil. His arrest forced the nation to confront the reality of the enemy within. You might expect a weapon capable of taking down a 9-story concrete structure to require classified materials, military-grade engineering, or specialized training. The reality is far more accessible. McVeigh built a 4,800-pound explosive using ammonium nitrate, a common agricultural fertilizer sitting in farm supply stores across the country. He mixed that fertilizer with diesel fuel, rigged it with a simple timing fuse, and packed the deadly cocktail into an ordinary, rented yellow box truck. There was no sophisticated supply chain. Anyone with extreme anger and access to farming equipment could now construct a weapon of mass destruction. To understand how an American soldier turns a bomb on his country, we have to look at his psychology. McVeigh had found belonging in the military, earning a Bronze Star in the Gulf War, before struggling to adapt to civilian life. Adrift and isolated, he found a new sense of purpose in white nationalist and fringe literature, which painted the federal government as a tyrannical force intent on stripping citizens of their rights. The breaking point arrived in 1993 in Waco, Texas. A 51-day FBI siege of the Branch Davidian religious compound ended in a massive fire that killed 76 people, including 25 children. Government investigations concluded the sect started the fire themselves, but McVeigh firmly believed federal agents had murdered them, viewing the event as undeniable proof that the state was actively waging war against its own people. His resentment calcified into a rigid military ideology. He approached the bombing as a defensive strike against a hostile regime, using a logic that framed mass murder as a tactical necessity. He spent 2 years planning his retaliation. He deliberately selected April 19th as the date for the attack, exactly 2 years to the day after the Waco siege ended in flames. The Alfred P. Murrah Building was chosen specifically because it housed offices of the ATF, the exact federal agency McVeigh blamed for the government raids. The execution was chillingly calm. He pulled the rented truck into the handicap zone at the north entrance, lit 2 timed fuses, locked the door, and walked away. McVeigh saw himself as a righteous freedom fighter, striking a tactical blow against a hostile regime. He simply ignored the fact that he was parking a massive explosive directly underneath a children's daycare. The investigation quickly traced the truck back to McVeigh because of a glaring, ordinary mistake. He had used his real name on the rental agreement, but by the time the FBI connected the dots, he was already sitting in a county jail for the traffic stop. Through his trial and up to his execution in 2001, McVeigh offered no apologies. He maintained absolute conviction that he had carried out a necessary and justified act of war. When asked about the 19 children killed in the daycare center, he relied on cold, sterile military language. He called them collateral damage. The lethal injection provided legal finality, but it couldn't answer the larger question. Executing one man doesn't explain how a society detects extreme ideological radicalization before it erupts into violence. Oklahoma City permanently shattered the comforting illusion that America's greatest threats require passports and overseas planning. The path McVeigh walked, from alienated citizen to anti-government extremist, remains deeply relevant. The same virulent strains of domestic grievance and militia ideology are still highly active today. Where the federal building once stood, there is now the Oklahoma City National Memorial. 168 empty glass and bronze chairs rest on the exact footprint of the destruction. If you look closely, you will see 19 smaller chairs interspersed among the rows. They represent the children whose parents dropped them off that Wednesday morning, expecting to pick them up in the afternoon. They are a permanent, haunting reminder that understanding the quiet, banal signs of radicalization is our only defense against the threat that grows from within.